Hello and welcome, you degenerates. We here are live at DRL ACC at Watkins, Glen for the wonderful season finale of this race. We are streaming the full, arguably 2 hours that we are going to be live for here today. So, free practice will be streamed, qualifying will be streamed, and obviously the race. With that being said, we have some wonderful interviews lined up this evening. We have Team on the Rush, Shake and Bake, and a few other drivers that are going to be joining us throughout this free practice session. Just for some, as I like to call it, exit interviews, celebration of the season. It has been an exciting and wild season. We've had Blunden, number 7, decide, you know what, Harry Potter time, and fly out in 2 races, both in Indianapolis and I think, not Donington, but I think it was Olton. We've had Team on the Rush, both Nairati and Breeze, both run out of fuel. It has been exciting, it has been crazy, and I've gotten to sit here and gotten to enjoy this commentary, and I look forward to Season 2. With that being said, let's get on to the interviews. First, we are going to bring in, as soon as I can pull them into this here, we're going to pull them all in. First, we are pulling in Team on the Rush, number 32, Nairati, and 666, Breeze. How are you guys? Are you guys looking forward to the season finale?
Yeah, pretty excited for this one. It's been a long time coming. You know, our first season here at Degenerate Racing League in the ACC division, it's been a lot of fun transitioning over from the F1 games. It's been a learning experience for us as a team, but we're excited to see this one come to an end so we can start building on the next season as well. But looking back and reflecting on all the highs and lows of the season, it's been a lot of fun.
Now, Breeze, with your teammate being a pro and you being an amateur, I'm not obviously there's going to be a difference when it comes to times and stuff like that, but do you feel that from the beginning of the season to now you're closer to your pro than you were?
I would say I'm closer to him. He's gotten a lot better. I've gotten better. But I think I'm closer at least. I mean, I feel like I've been more competitive with the grid, so I hope to continue this into next season too.
Now we've watched this entire season. You guys have had highs, you guys have had lows. Mitch has lost a few podiums. The Australia fuel incident where you fired your fuel director post-race. From the beginning of the season, you guys told me that you guys had not high expectations, but you at least wanted to be able to compete. And so far, that really hasn't happened over the course of the season. Is there any particular incident that caused that, or is this just your guys' learning season, and then next season there's bigger aspirations?
Oh, I think it's a handful of different factors. I'll let you go ahead in a sec, Braden, but at least from my perspective, it's just a matter of getting used to the new discipline, the new types of cars. Going from a fairly arcadey sim like F1 and an open wheel to something that's a lot more grounded in reality, and cars are a lot heavier and require more precision. That in and of itself requires a transition of driving styles from one to the other. That comes with its own challenges. As far as the unique tribulations that we've dealt with ourselves, mostly just learning experiences, and failing to do our due diligence at some point. Like you mentioned with Austria, we just went on the assumption with our fuel and it didn't pan out. And then for myself personally, I personally drive with a virtual reality headset on. For myself personally, that's how I find the maximum amount of immersion and focus, and it allows me to be the most effective on track as possible. And in certain situations, unfortunately, due to some technical limitations, that's backfired on me in the past, which you guys might have seen in a couple past races, particularly of recent memory, both at Hungary during the end of lap 1, and I believe it was the start of lap 4 on Silverstone, where my VR briefly blacks out mid-corner, and I just have to basically drive in a predictable fashion and away from the track as to not destroy anybody who races but myself, and then having to try and obviously mitigate the damage of that incident. But I spent some time mitigating those issues, making a few adjustments, making a few fixes, so hopefully that issue's in the past.
Breeze, you next?
He said a lot of what I was going to say. I think this is very much a learning year, is new discipline, new game, new physics, completely different cars. And also just, I'm still fairly new to sim racing as a whole. So I'm just looking for improvement as I go along. I'm not expecting to win races right off the bat. Just gradual improvements.
Now, I'm going to quickly, as this will also tie into my final question, pulling up the standings that I have on my screen, that I have on my side screen here. Narodi, you're fighting both McGavin and Castle for, I think it's somewhere like 5th or 6th in the championship. And you're a few points back, so you need kind of a little bit of luck with Castle, but you're closer to Shooter than you are Castle. What is your strategy going into this race specifically to try and best both of them?
Well, my strategy is to, first of all, try to out-qualify the two of these drivers. I know the Ferrari is particularly quick around this circuit, as it has been with a lot of circuits over this calendar, so if I can start ahead of him on the grid, then I'm pretty confident I can keep him behind me. In terms of Frank Castle and the Swine Flu Syndicate, the Porsche is another story. I know for a lot of guys it is a handful, but in the right hands it is a powerful machine, and I can't underestimate the skill that Frank Castle has behind. So obviously my first perennial goal is going to be to out-qualify them, and if I can't manage that, well then I need to be aggressive in the race and try to make up positions as quickly on them as possible.
Now, Brees, you have your own battle in the amateur division. You're fighting to just keep third in your class, both from Fossman and Ricky, who are fighting their own battles, both in the class and in the league standings as a whole. What is your strategy going in? Because I know your season's been very hot or cold. You'll have you've won an amateur class race this season, but all of your other finishes have been kind of like 4th, 5th, and 6th in your own class. So what are you looking to do to try and get by both of them this race?
I just need to focus on driving clean and staying consistent. My biggest issue this season has been making small mistakes that add up to big mistakes. So I'm just going to try to eliminate as many of those small mistakes as I can, and hopefully benefit on some benefit in whatever circumstances I can get.
A little bit of a wobble by Castle there. Now, I'll finish off because I've taken up 10 minutes of your free practice time, so I apologize for that. But what are you guys looking forward to next season? Like, is there anything on your guys' mind?
Go ahead, Braden. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
I'm honestly just looking forward to racing again with a good group of people. We've got a really good group here, and I look forward to racing. Also, hopefully, having a more consistent season.
Absolutely, and I'll build off on that as well. Like Braden said, can't state enough how great this community has been, sharing the grid with these drivers and on these various tracks. Really brings a smile to my face getting to join the grid with them each week. It's something that I always look forward to and gets me through my actual work days. And yeah, just looking forward to hitting the reset button on this season. Like you mentioned, we've had a lot of fun, but competitively speaking, this season hasn't exactly gone the direction. So our fans out there, we appreciate you guys for the support, and you best believe that come season 2 of Degenerate League ACC, pardon me, we're going to be turning the page and going to freshen things up and try to attack next season full force and try to win us some more championships, win us a couple of races.
All right, thank you very much, Team On The Rush. I'll move you guys back. Thanks so much for coming in for the interview, and good luck to both of you this race.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
They are clear. I think we are going to pull in, if he's not on the track, yes, we're going to pull him away. We're going to pull the man who is currently second in this championship, fighting Jacob Stavko for the victory in this race. We are going to pull in the Costco Dalafiti Hot Dog Pork Gang second place driver, Samuel Sanyiga. How are you, good sir?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you, Tyler?
Not too bad. Thank you so much for asking. Now, we know this. I just told them the stakes. You are second place. You have a chance if you can beat Stavko and he has a moment and drops to either like 5th or 6th. You have a chance to beat him and become the first champion in DRL ACC history. Does that cause any added stress going into this race, or are you still just going to race how you've raced this season?
I am just gonna race how I've raced. There's really no point in changing it. If it works, it works.
Now, you say that the first half of the season you were unbeatable. Not even Stavko could touch you. But the second half of this season, you've been kind of vulnerable, so to speak. You haven't had the race caliber that you've had. You finished in the below the top 10 in one of the races. Stuff like that. Stuff has happened. Does that worry you at all that that could be a continuance, or are you still just on the mindset of I'm going to win this race no matter what?
More towards the latter.
Any reason why you're not like the pressure? You don't think the pressure will get to you?
Just gonna do what I keep. Just gonna do what. Keep continuing what I do. I mean, I've just been racing pretty cleanly, not making too many mistakes, hopefully, but also like putting down consistent laps, not making too many mistakes, or at least major ones. Mm-hmm. Is that how I should be, at least.
Now, with that being said, if you don't get and win the championship title, do you feel like that's going to be a loss on this season?
Not really. I've had a lot of fun battling Stavko this season, despite I've had my bad races in the latter half of the season, but every time I've been near him, it's always been clean. It's always been fun, but tense. But all in all, still really, really fun and awesome.
All right. Well, I won't take too much more time of your free practice session. You haven't even really set a lap yet. You're just sitting here in the pits, and I'm literally watching you.
Yeah.
You're just patiently waiting your turn, and now thankfully the team on the Rush Boys, who I brought in earlier, are now on the way on the track. Before I let you go, anything looking forward to next season?
Looking forward to driving a completely different car, that's for sure.
Oh, so are you announcing you're going to change cars here? What car are you changing to?
I will not be announcing my new car, but I will announce that I am changing my car for next season.
Can't give a little spoiler, right?
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is that it's completely different.
All right. Thank you so much, Saniga. Good luck in this race, and try and make history.
Thank you, Tyler.
All right. So we've had Team on the Rush, and we've had Saniga. We will have a few other drivers come in eventually, but they seem to be working on their prep laps as of right now. So we'll hold off as Breeze tags the wall and heads back into the pits for repairs. Next person up with a valid lap is going to be Swanson, but I think he's losing most of his time. Hermione, however, is up about 3/10, and then Kerbal behind is up by about also 3/10. So let's see if they can manage to gain some time. Hermione will gain up to 5th. Kerbal will gain up to 2nd. Blunden and McGavin are both ahead. And Frank Castle also below. 3 pro-ams and an amateur are all ahead of Frank Castle, actually. It's going to be real interesting. I'm waiting for Kerbal to pull off to the side of the road, or at least go into the pits so I can yoink him into the chat. Or at least have people that said they were going to want to be interviewed show up into the chat. As some of them have yet to enter into the chat. Polinick has yet to join the server, but he is currently in the lobby. I'm going to see if he wants to be pulled in. As Ricky Bobby has now joined the server. I'm just seeing who wants up next to be in the broadcast booth with me. As we watch, currently we are on board with number 32. He's currently 6th. That would be Nairati. We're right on board with Kerbal as he's... Nope, number 34 is off. It seems he's in the wall just after the chicane. What happened to him there? And his livery is broken. Did he change his livery? All right, so we'll skip that in the meantime. Oh, Castle with the bumps. Manages to save it. It's a good save indeed, but he's going to pull over to the side of the road and just wait it out there. All right. Next up onto the track, it's going to be Nairati, number 69. That would be the shoot. That would be Mr. McGavin's coming out onto the track now, along with 30. Yep, that would be Santiago. Trying to figure out who wants next. It's still as we still have a very long time to go in this practice session. Still plenty of time as Santiago has this black Falcon. Looks a lot like the Hornet Matt Terry, but it is not. He still drives the BMW though. It's still the same car. Mark Macklin currently leads on top of the timing charts, followed by Kerbal and Blunden. Shooter is up on his lap, however, so we'll ride on board with him. With that being said, we are going to pull in the man with the Paul Laren. All right, Mr. Polinick, welcome to the broadcast booth. How are you feeling going into this race?
Confident, but I need some luck. I think I have good pace during my practice, but we'll see if I have any spin outs or accident participation.
Well, hopefully you won't have any accident participation. You're only separated, because I have the stats in front of me, you're only separated by 5 points from Leung, who's in the amateur class overall. At least you have 243, he is 239. And not to mention in the pro-am, you're actually fighting Swanson for third place. So like, obviously we know your hopes are to do as well as you can this race, but do you have any nerves going in here into Watkins Glen?
No nerves, but last time we tried Watkins Glen, it was really bad for me, so hopefully I learned the lesson. I binned it on the first lap. But now I know the turn.
All right. Where you are now, both in terms of race pace and standing from the beginning of the season till now, because it's been a full season, better, worse than you thought? Like, how do you feel about your season overall?
I think overall I'm looking at the overalls, so I'm fighting for 10th. So I think I'm where I kind of wanted to be in a way. Definitely in the beginning I had a lot of crashes and a lot of wasted races, and I was much slower. Around mid-season I realized I need to practice way more for these races, and I think that's immediately I had much more success. I was like 8th in Spa. Like the first week I started practicing much more. And so I totally saw my pace increased. Before I was fighting with AMs on pace, and immediately I was fighting with pro AMs and Swanson and other guys.
Yeah, you've had battles with Swanson, you've had battles with Nairati too even, so like you've definitely, and you've changed your car from the Banana car to the Polarin, so like you've definitely grown a lot since I last saw you. How, like I said, you want to do the best you can, but how would you like to finish out this season?
Well, definitely 10th at least. I don't think I can fight for 9th. I don't believe I have enough points. But
Like
in this race, I think so I haven't practiced yet with everyone, so I haven't seen everyone's pace. But I believe I should be somewhere in top 10.
All right. Well, currently Macklin holds the best lap time with a 1:44.
Oh.
But Sadiga and Stavko have yet to set a lap time yet, so that could be, like, Swanson currently is probably running about a 140. Swanson's running a 147.0. That's his best right now.
Yeah, in practice I had like mid 145s, like, or high 45s.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much for coming in for the interview. I appreciate it. Get in the server and get ready to start racing.
Thank you.
Moved him back to the ACC lobby. Balute's got his pro tag on. It's fine by me, doesn't really matter. Hermione's has found minimal time gain. Now Roddy looking for a little bit of improvement on his lap. As so far we have 9 people watching this lovely free practice session. Thank you all so much for joining us. We are getting slowly and slowly to the halfway point of this race. I'm hoping there's still a lot of drivers I need to get in here for the next little bit. Most of them are on track right now, so getting them in is a little bit difficult because I don't want to screw up their mojo. See if I can grab the race program. If you didn't, oh, we just got back on track. God damn it. So close, yet so far away. As we have the all black livery of Stavko coming in. Oh, Fossman is improving. Looking to see who I can grab. So I don't think it'll be Kerbal. Ricky Bobby is also on track, so I can't grab him. Fossman stays 10th, despite his improvement. Is anyone else coming into the line with some improvement? Nairadi's found about 3/10. But he's still a ways away. And that 3/10 just turned into about 1.5. As Nairadi approaches the final turn here, he's actually down on his time. London, however, is up. He's up about quite a bit, actually. Enough that he might actually take provisional pole in free practice. But he's still got a ways to go. He's still got a few corners he has to make. A little bit on the off throttle, that's going to hurt his time. It'll probably take away about a 1/10 or 2. Still only stays 4th. He has the same lap time as the race program. Both 1:44.972. Actually incredible. You don't see that very often. This castle's going to go up the inside here, as we're going to have a little bit of racing here. Heading into turn 1. In a sense, yeah, I'm basically asking permission to yoink people. As we see both swine flu syndicates. Oh, that was a car sideways. I don't know who that was. But that was a car that was sideways, as we have 20 drivers in for this free practice session already. Swanson showing a lot of improvement, as Stavko still does not take provisional pole despite being less than a 1/10 away. Swanson closes the gap on Zahar, but still stays 10th. As we have most of the drivers out on track now. else is improving on their lap times? Ricky Bobby, we should hopefully hear from him later, is also improving on his lap time. Kerbal just went into the pits. Hopefully we can yoink him over. All right, we are going to hear from the man that runs the solo race program, Neil Kerbal. Hello, Mr. Kerbal. Thank you so much for joining me in the broadcast booth. You are the solo man that runs the race program. How do you feel going into this race?
I am just gonna follow Burt Macklin around the track, just like what happened the last time we did this track.
I mean, currently Burt Macklin has the fastest time. Stavko's missed him by about less than a tenth. But, like, that's just your strategy going in, because you're battling both him in terms of class, and then you're battling him also in terms of overall with Blunden as well. But Blunden would have to have a massive disadvantage and finish, like, dead last in order for you to pass him, because you're 45 points off.
Yeah, and the overall standings, I don't really consider that happening. Was it Blunden is pretty fast, and actually, if you're looking at the deltas, we're the same time.
Yes,
right
you
now.
are the exact same time. I pointed that out already. You guys literally are to the T the exact same time.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best, and we'll see where the chips fall at the end of the season. But I'm gonna try and follow Macklin around just like the beginning of the season as Suzuka.
And then just go from there?
And then just go from there.
Now, you know I'm going to have to bring up Austria, because that right now could be the difference between third in your class and fourth, which would be, I'm not going to lie, hilarious from a broadcasting point of view, but not what I'm here for. From the beginning of the season till now that it's one full season and that it's the end, are you where you want to be? Do you think that you could have been better? Do you think you're worse off? Like, how do you feel about the season overall?
I think it went really well. There's definitely some things that I could have done differently and probably done better. Specifically, my performance at Zandvoort was not ideal, but lap one, that was a challenge. But yeah, like I could definitely be in a better position, but you know, from a viewer standpoint, like the closeness of the battle for third generates interest. So it'll be interesting to see how this race goes.
Honestly, this season with both Saniga and Stavko has essentially turned what it's like to be in F1 right now with the Red Bulls, is that you have 1, 2, and then everyone else fighting for the final podium position. So it's generated a lot of good battles and a lot of good things. Nairati has come out fast and furious these last 2 races, but technical issues have deprived him of battles. But now that he's gotten that fixed, do you expect him to I guess, interfere with your battle between yourself and Macklin?
Don't know. Nyrats is kind of a rogue element on this track. Like, he puts in really good qualifying times, and then he struggles a little bit during the race. So we'll see what happens during qualifying this time around, if he's able to put in a really good hot lap and just stay ahead of me. And if that's the case, I'm just going to stick to his bumper and apply pressure and see if he'll make a mistake.
Well, at this rate, it's been known to happen, but half of those are technical difficulties and half of those are on his own. So we'll find out one way or another if the team on the rush can finish well to end the season. But are you looking forward to next season? Because going off of what they said, it's just been an excellent community here, and it can't really get any better. So what are the goals next season?
Try a different car. Also, I'm no longer going to be with the race program. I'm going to try out something different, and I think I may have hinted towards that in the paddock chat. But that's what you'll expect to see me in next season.
You're not gonna slip a little bit of info to the broadcast stream about what car you're gonna be driving next race or next season?
I'm a Ferrari fan, so I'll leave it at that.
Oh, alrighty. I like the sound. I like the sound of that. All right, I'll move you back to the ACC paddock track. Thank you so much for joining, and good luck in your race.
Thanks, Tyler. Thanks for streaming this.
No worries. All right, that was Kerbal of the race program. Currently sitting in fourth right now with the same lap time as Blunden. Blunden desperate to try and beat it in any way, shape, or form. Don't see anyone else that we could tag out right now. Maybe does... He said he wanted to come in. Did he? Yes, he did. He's currently sitting in the pits right now. So let me see if I can. We're gonna see who we can yoink next. I'm gonna see if he wants to go. Or we might try and grab Shake and Bake if they're both in the pits. Oh, Shooter just went out, so that's not happening anytime soon. We're gonna see if we're gonna see if Mr. Fossman of the Party Pickles wants to do his interview now as well. He is just coming out, so never mind. We're not gonna get him, and we're also not gonna get the team Shake and Bake, McGavin and Ricky. Well, Ricky Bobby's in the pits, but then McGavin just left, so I can't seem to win no matter what I do. And Ricky Bobby's gonna come out anyway. So no interviews from them just yet. Romani's gonna get ready to start his another flying lap, number 19. That would be on Polinick's evening. Oh, he tags the wall with his rear, but manages to keep going. That'll probably be a slight incurrence of damage, but not too much. No one is really improving on their lap times right now, and by nobody, I mean nobody. With 25 minutes left to go in this free practice session, we're gonna get a few. All right, whoever wants to come in for their, I'm gonna get Blunden. I think Blunden said he wanted to come in, so I'll ask him. I'm just asking everybody for their interviews at this point. Just keep it nice and clean going and stuff like that. Have a nice flow as Polinick drifts the entirety of the back corner into the pits. I swear to goodness, if every time I ask someone for their interview, they go out on track, I'm about to lose my marbles. I'm gonna try and see, because Ricky and McGavin are out. Blunden currently is not. He said he would like one, but I just want to make sure before I start pulling people out of the chat that I actually get their permission. Again, no one is improving right now except Hayes, but literally he just got on the track as we now head into the chicane. As you can see, that chicane has been destroyed by Saniga in the last session and has since been repaired. We will hear from the Swine Flu Syndicate, but it will be post-race, as they will give off the final exit interview of the season. I want to get Stavko in as well, but he has to change his livery, and also he is not in the chat right now. So I'm trying. I'm straight about to yoink him, just not care. But like, I want to confirm. I'd like confirmation. We have 10 people watching us right now. Thank you so much to those 10 people. Just watching the finale with us here at DRL ACC. It means a lot. We've been through this incredible journey if you've been here watching every race. And we are going to hear from the man that is sitting in third place in this championship. First overall in his class by a landslide. We are going to hear from the Scuderia Boscaiolo's Gareth Blunden. Thank you so much for joining me, Blunden, during this free practice session, taking away from your track act. It has been an incredible season for you. The first Pro-Am to get a podium this season. Keeps leading the way going. You've attended every race. You've been top 10 every race. How can you improve on that?
Don't forget third overall somehow at this point.
Yes.
Like in the standings. Like, how is that possible? You know,
consistent. Like I said, top 10 here every race. It's like you have been the absolute poster child to go ever since you've made that move on. Ever since you made that move in Spot, you have just been lights out. Ever since.
Yeah. After we got our wizarding stuff together, we figured it out.
I was saying that at the beginning. It's like you flew in You flew into the car park in Indianapolis. You got all kinds of crazy. Was it in Olton? Did you wizardry in Olton? It was a park. I know it was a park. It was either Donington or Olton.
Donington, maybe.
Either way, you did some wizardry stuff after that. So, what is there to improve on for you? Like, could you name anything besides winning a race? Because that seems highly unlikely at this. Well, at this rate, the stars will align and you'll win it.
Who knows? Like I think some of those podiums were because the super fast guys had computer issues and stuff. So like I'm gonna take that spot, yeah, and I'm gonna take it. But improving from here, we'll see. I don't think so. I think tonight's race is going to be interesting. I think Burt Macklin is, him and I are pretty close for points. So I think there's a fairer chance, unless he wrecks himself in the bus stop, that he'll beat me, and a few others will probably beat me as well. There's some fast people here.
You say that, but you have advantage. You have 395. Macklin is 372, and Kerbal has 350. In my interview with Kerbal, I said Blunden would probably have to have like a major incident for you to catch up to third, and you'd have to beat Macklin sizably as well. So Kerbal's fighting Macklin in the class more than he is in the league. You've won your class. There is no doubt. You have 155 points. It's done. It's over with. You're moving to pro next season. That's a freaking given. So honestly, I feel like with this race, for you, it's just kind of like honestly a celebration, because you've done so well this season. As long as you finish in the top 10, you've finished top 10 every race this season. Like, arguably, and you are the DRL MVP in my mind.
Oh, that's very nice.
Like, with Stofko and Seniga winning every race, I can expect that from them. But
Alien's gonna alien, yeah.
Alien's gonna alien, but you've been consistent. You top 10. You've been here every race. Honestly, that is the sign of an MVP for me.
Well, when we started chatting, we definitely talked about that was my goal, was like 10, 9 or 10. And the progression over the season has been I don't know. It was a little unexpected, but I'm happy for it, obviously. So. And interestingly enough, if practice is any indicator at all, I don't know if you've seen the leaderboard, but
always watching.
Kerbal and I were tied, and Gavin was only 300th off that. So between the three of us, it looks like he's improved his time now, but gonna be interesting.
What do you have to look forward to next season? Because obviously we've set all your achievements this season. What are you looking forward to about next season and most likely going to pro?
Struggling in pro? Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good battle to have, and still hunting for the time. So hopefully I can give somebody some challenges next season.
All right, thank you so much, Blunden. Again, the real MVP of this season. I'll move you back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, and hey, thanks for all your commentary over the season. You're doing a fantastic job. Thanks, Sam.
Love to hear that, Blunden. Thank you so much. All right, I want to try and get the shake and bake in here. All right, let's see if I can get Team Shake and Bake in for this race. All right, so I got Ricky Bobby. All right, so let's get him. All right, Ricky, I got you in. I'm gonna move your teammate because he's in the pits, and I'm not losing him again. I was gonna get him last time, but he left the pits.
Yeah, he's anxiously awaiting.
Oh, he's very anxious. Well, I'd like to welcome Team Shake and Bake, both Ricky Bobby and the Shooter McGavin, into the broadcast booth. They're currently sitting in the pits right now, as they've done most of their laps already. But congratulations on a good season, guys. You guys have probably arguably been my favorite team so far, other than obviously Team on the Rush. But like, honestly, I can't get over your names. They're so great. From the beginning of the season till now, how do you guys feel you guys have improved?
Oh, you go first, buddy.
Well, I mean, I think I've made huge improvements. Although I think everyone in the amateur division has really drastically improved on their racing. Coming into this season, I had like 10 hours of ACC time. So really just figuring out the cars, making that adjustment coming from F1, really finding myself, and had some great battles, and looking forward to a lot of more good battles next season and fishing out strong. The times look really close here between me, Don, and Braden, and we got tight. We're tight in the standings right now, so a big race for the three of us. And yeah, we're all right here time-wise, so it should be a great race out there tonight for us.
Yeah, for me, it was just kind of like a lot of mistakes early on. It seemed like lots of spin. Well, I think I've still got that in me, but yeah, lots of spins, lots of collisions, and then yeah, just towards the end, I've just been getting quicker and quicker, and it's yeah, it's nice to see. It's kind of, I was the same. I'd only put like not very much time in ACC before this season, so it's nice to see that I'm up with the pros for these last few races.
Wash and dryer was what I called you guys at the beginning because of all the spins you guys were doing. It was incredible. But Ricky, as you said, you are fighting. You and Foxman in the actual like league itself, in the full standings, are tied at 144, which is incredible to think about. Not to mention, both of you are fighting Breeze for that third place spot in the class, and obviously the bragging rights that go along with it. Fossman's ahead of you, you're ahead of Breeze, but not by much. You're all separated by 2/10. What's the strategy going into for a battle like that?
You know, you got a little shake, and you got a little bake. We just got to, got to push it. Last time we were out here, Dawn and I battled well. I feel like I'm someone who finds their pace out there on the track compared to doing just the single laps. So we'll see where we qualify, but really this whole season's come down to consistency, and my poor teammates really felt it this season, where he's had a couple qualify second, third, and get bumped by somebody, spin off track, whatever it may be, and you're falling down. So really for us, it's about who can stay consistent, who can keep consistent lap times, and then of course, when are you pitting? That's seemed to play a lot bigger role later in the season than it has in the beginning, as our times have all tightened, whether it's a track that leans towards the overcut or the undercut. So getting that right pit time is going to make a huge difference for us.
I think the perfect example of that is Blunden. He has just been Mr. Consistent. It's just unreal. Like our pace has been basically similar throughout the whole entire season, but he just keeps it on the track, doesn't spin, doesn't crash with people, and that's why he's third in the championship. It's kind of like, he just keeps on collecting those points.
Now, I just had him on, and no offense to everyone else, but I called him the MVP. He's been here every race.
Oh,
He
yeah.
has not finished outside the top 10 yet. He has had one 10th place finish. That's it. He has been 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th. He's been accumulating those points. And look where it's gotten him. It's gotten him 3rd in this championship. Shooter, you're in a battle with both Castle and Nairati for, I think, 5th or 6th in this championship. You're ahead of Nairati, but you're behind Castle. What's your strategy here? Because you're at this moment, currently, according to times, faster than both of them.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Those guys are so quick, and yeah, if Mitch's headset stays well, then he'll probably beat me for sure. And then Castle, he's always sandbagging the start, and then he'll be right in there at the end. So
The only thing
I know those two will probably
is
beat
meta.
me. Yeah, exactly.
Literally meta. And a callback to the sandbag syndicate, as it's called, but be
That's
careful
right.
because they still have the power. They still have the power to bite you. But
Yeah.
what are you guys looking forward to next season? Obviously, I'm assuming you guys will stay together and still be shake and bake, but are we looking at a change of cars, a change of livery, and any aspirations that go along with it for next season?
Yeah, I think we'll change up the livery in the car for sure. Like, yeah, I like quite a few of the cars. So, and the Ferrari's been fun, but you want to try something different. So, and we'll spruce up the old paint, the old livery as well. Do something cool.
Absolutely. And I think the aspirations are just to keep improving and improving. This season fighting for positions. Next season we look to be fighting for championships.
Oh, that's big words coming. That's big words coming from Team Shake and Bake. All right, I'll move you guys back. Thank you so much for coming in for the interview. It's always nice when I can get the teams themselves. So again, thank you guys so much for that.
Thanks for
Absolutely. Thank you
commentating
for
the whole time.
yeah, absolutely.
You've done a great job.
Thank
The
you
glue
guys.
that keeps this machine together.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I'll move you guys now. With that being said, I think we're almost done the interviews. We have just a few more people. We've gotten pretty much everybody. Like I said, we'll hear from the Swine Flu Syndicate, or as according to Shake and Bake, the Sandbag Syndicate. At the end, we just need Stuffco and Fossman at some point. If Don Fossman enters the pits, I will just yoink his butt right in this chat. I just do not care in the slightest. I'm not waiting for permission anymore. I'm just going in. So Don Fossman's still out on track, so we'll just wait. Hopefully he goes into the pits at some point. I don't want to have to yoink him out of qualifying, because that certainly will not happen. But we have, like I said, we've had an excellent season so far here at DRL's ACC with less than 10 minutes remaining in this free practice session. Obviously, we take a look at the leaderboard on the left-hand side. You have Stofko, Macklin, Kerbal, McGavin, Blunden, Nairati, Polinick, Hermani, Castle, Zahara rounding out the top 10. And from Castle all the way down to Terry, it's separated by less than 7/10. And as I said, the battle between Fossman, Bobby, and Breeze, very, very close in terms of timing. And that battle is for very crucially third in the championship, so that'll be a battle to keep an eye on. Stofko is currently up on his time, which I didn't think he could get any more up, but ladies and gentlemen, lo and behold, he's done it. Fossman's in the fucking pits. I'm yoinking his ass into this chat right now. All right, Fossman, you're in this chat now. You're in the broadcast booth. You saw you're in the pits. I'm yoinking you now.
Oh, good timing. How's it going?
Not too bad. Wanted to get your teammate Sean Ches in here, but I understand things are happening.
Oh yeah,
there.
he came into the practice late, so he's probably crushing some practice.
You know what? That's fine by me. I have no problem with that. Get your practice in. So then you'll be the speaker head of this group. Obviously, it's been a little bit a struggle is the word that I'll put it. Party Pickles have been involved in a lot of like somewhat incidences this season and stuff like that.
Say
but
that.
but you're still fighting for third in your amateur class between Brees and Bobby, and you hold
Yeah, and I
advantage
heard Breeze
over.
dropped a giant 300-pound tire on his foot, so this might be my chance to take advantage.
Brees
Because I think
hopes-
he's like 4 points ahead of me.
Yeah, he's about 4 points. And like I said, you hold advantage right now over Bobby and Breeze in the current FP1 times. What's your strategy? Because obviously this is immense pressure, because third in that class has the bragging rights that go along with it.
Yeah, strategy is just like stay away from others and stay off the walls and just be consistent. So I think everybody's pretty good at this track though, so I don't think I can necessarily rely on other people crashing. So it's gonna have to wait and see how it goes. But
Just avoid the incidences. I in my F1 East preseason race had a driver come back on, and I'm like, well, this is a problem now. Unsafe re-entry, and I just smashed him because I couldn't stop in time. But with like from the beginning of the season till now, but you can, if you want, speak for your teammate as well as a team. Have you guys improved from where you thought you would be? Is this season a loss? Is this season a win? Like, how do you feel personally, and then as a team?
You know what? I think both of us have improved as drivers over this time. Like we look back at track times that we had previously, and are better now. But everyone's improving at the same rate in this league. I think like Sean and I are pretty new. Like we're both pretty new to racing in general. Obviously, I wish I was further ahead than I am in the standings, but there's always another season. So I did kind of come off of an injury. Like preseason, I was dealing with like a fully torn Achilles and like driving with my left foot only.
I couldn't, dude. I don't know how you managed that. That sounds horrible.
I was hoping though that was a really good excuse, but once I was like more or less better, I wasn't actually that much faster.
And you're just like, wait, hold on, I can't use this as a crutch anymore. Wait, what's happening?
Exactly. So.
What are you looking forward to next season? Obviously, you guys had a mid-season livery change, which I love so very much. It's so great. I love the new livery. But
yeah,
like,
she's put that together. It was awesome. Yeah, next season I'm just looking forward to doing some of the same tracks and not having to learn a new track every week. Like we knew some of these, but most weeks we were coming in and trying to figure out the new track. And like just as being like relatively new, we're not that quick at learning tracks yet. So that's what I'm mostly looking forward to, is just like not having to put that time in and feeling confident coming in earlier in the week. So.
Personally, I'm looking forward to next season, maybe getting in a few races in with you guys and stuff like that.
Yeah, do it.
Sneak my way in if I can get out of the broadcast booth for more than a day. Stuff like that.
Yeah, well, if you get the chance to race.
You know I'm racing. I'm racing you.
But
I'm racing you right off the line. All right, thank you, Don Fossman. Good luck in this race, and good luck in your championship fight.
Yep, thanks. See you next season.
Yep. All right, that is Don Fossman. It doesn't look like we are going to get Stavko in, as he still has not fixed his livery. So how do we identify Stavko? Is the full black Ferrari, which sounds really weird when you think about it. But with that being said, there's very few drivers left during what's left of this free practice session. Thank you so much for sticking around during this free practice session. It's been an honor to interview these drivers. It's been an honor to broadcast them. As I said with Fossman, maybe I can get out on the track or two for next race, but being in this booth, being able to watch these talented drivers, the aliens of Stavko and Sanyiga, who have sandwiched between the drivers because Sanyiga hasn't done a time yet. The Swine Flu Syndicate, the consistency that they have brought. Speaking of consistency, you got Blunden, like I said, top 10 finish every race this season. Team on the rush in their beautiful car, but the struggles that they've had this season have not ended their championship fight, with Bree still having a chance, and same with Nairati in the overall standings. But more that could have been achieved. Matt Terry in his beautiful BMW, like I said, the Hornet that I call him, just reminds me of the yellow jacket. Zahara of Team Solo Q, Bradley Cooper sadly not being with us for the season finale. He's had a little bit of a struggle this season, but hopefully he can bounce back for the next season. trying to list off the drivers. You have Polonic in the Polarin. He's done well. The Latvian sensation, Hermione in the Aston Martin. Think I've heard reports that he won't be in the Aston Martin for next season, which is a shame because that's the car that I drive, and you can hear it. It's just so lovely to drive. Hayes of the Port Gang themselves, Saniga and Hayes. That Costco $1.50 hot dog, a staple of their races so far. Saniga has that chance to win outright, but you have the MA70 Esports of both Jacob Stavko and Alan Leung. Leung has battled so hard this season, and I do believe that he's won the amateur class this season. I don't think anybody else is fighting him for it. Don't think Sanchez is either. But Stavko still has to battle Saniga to be called ACC World Champion in DRL for the first season, for the inaugural season. With 2 minutes left to go in free practice and a 15-minute qualifying with a 45-minute race, I can say truly, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it has been my honor to broadcast all of these races this season. And I cannot wait to be ready for Season 2, where we have arguably, possibly more drivers on the grid and more intense battles to come. The last minute 35 will stick on board with the current champion as he rides out in Watkins Glen. We are back as the free practice session has ended. Stavko doing the final lap. No one else is on the track. It's just essentially a victory lap of his own. His MA70 Esport livery not showing. But that's okay. We know who he is. We know the caliber of driver he is. In order for Saniga to take the championship from Stavko, Saniga would need to win and Stavko to finish 7th or lower. That is the championship standings outright. That is what he has to do. That is the difference. Can it be done? Stavko holds advantage. But we've seen magic happen in the season finales before. Can it happen again? But this time in DRL ACC, as he is just going off. At this rate, he's going to make it a full second. And that is free practice done. And qualifying begins. Macklin is... Ooh, Breeze cuts off Macklin as Breeze is going to lead out everybody else. Or is he? Nah, Macklin's going to get out. Macklin wants none of that. Just gets past Breeze, and Macklin will have the honor of us riding on board for the first qualifying lap of this session. The Swine Flu Syndicate driver, as I said, we'll hear from Swine Flu Syndicate post-race as we will close out the season fully. Macklin slowly approaching. Qualifying becomes, with all these storylines, the final qualifying session becomes oh so important. Who is going to take pole position for the final race here at Watkins Glen? As Burt Macklin hits the final turn, and off we go. We're gonna ride on board with him. As we get a nice shot of this nice straight. As Macklin comes into turn one, braking at about the 100-meter board, nicks the inside curb, takes all available exit. Not like F1 rules where you conformed to the white line. You could take a little bit of the curb, go inside there, nick the inside curb there. Get as close to the wall as you can there. Hold the line. Stay on the inside. Straighten out on exit as you approach the chicane now. The chicane's a little bit crazy. The Sunco chicane as you take the curb, nick that one, nick that one, nick that one a little bit, and off we go. The chicane's already done. Right-hander immediately post. You want to stay as inside as you can. Straighten out on that straight. Take the exit curb there. Again, stay to the left. Nudge that inside curb ever so slightly, then you have to straighten out on exit. That curb there is there precisely for that reason. Right-hander now, again, nick the inside curb. There's going to be some exit. There's going to be a nice exit curb for you to take right about there. And now coming down the second straight, as we've had Santiago currently on the white flag list. Macklin then approaches that turn, gets out of the way. Number 23, I do believe that is Zahara is going to be ahead of him, but he's not going to be able to get in his way. Take all the exit there. As you approach the penultimate corner, you can see the racing line. Keep on it. Use all available exit curb. Get as close to this inside curb as you can without spinning yourself. Open up the wheel on exit and straight full throttle gas as Burt Macklin will set the time to beat at a 1:44.7. Breeze will cross the line, followed by Kerbal. They're pretty much almost identical. But Kerbal, with an amazing amount of speed, Saniga destroys Macklin's lap time with a 1:44.3. Swanson holds serve in 6th. 32 Nairati gets ahead of Kerbal and Castle, but not ahead of Macklin and Saniga. 26 and 19 across the line. Bobby 10th. Polinick 6th. Next 44 and 7. Hermione 7th. Blunden 5th. 30 Pitts. Next across the line is going to be Fossman in 11th. That's going to be a very crucial battle between him and Breeze. He's currently ahead of that battle. He's ahead of Hermione too. Next across the line was 410 and 16. 410 sadly in the bottom. Sanchez ahead of Breeze and Leung. Next across the line is going to be McGavin. McGavin, and he is 6th. He's behind Blunden by not that much. 7 thousandths of a second. Separating those two. The championship leader, Stavko, almost goes a little bit too wide there. He's trying to find all that extra time. It says he's 20th. He won't be for long as he crosses the line. Not faster than Sanyiga. He is less than 1,000th off. And Matt Terry gets into the top 10 with his lap. Sahara 18th. Burt Macklin coming next across the line again. Gets ahead of Stavko. Still under a 0.5 3/1000ths. Kerbal getting ready to do his lap again. Brees not ahead. I think Castle got ahead of Nairati. Nairati not showing any improvement, and he gets to go again. As drivers fight to improve, Polinick gets back up into 9th. Blunden's going to improve on his lap time as well and pass the two pros of Castle and Nairati. Crucially, Nairati ahead of McGavin, though. That's what he wants. He arguably wants to be ahead of both as Fossman comes next across the line. Still stays 11th. Number 16, Sean Ches, is going to be next across the line with about 2/10 improvement. That's not going to move him any positions. He is still going to stay 15th. Next across the line is Liang. He has almost a full second of improvement. That's going to get him up into 14th, just behind Swanson. Sheeta McGavin is next. Did not improve. He still stays 8th. Number 34, Stavko. Looking to improve. As he 6/10 is the difference now. My goodness gracious, that is insane. Matt Terry 10th still. Zahara not. He's only found about he's found about 5/10. That's not going to move him anywhere. The race program not improving very much at all. Brees, is he showing improvement? Yes, he is. He's showing about 6/10. Where's that going to move him up to? That's going to move him up to 14th. Crucially ahead of Ricky Bobby, but not ahead of Fossman, as Fossman's looking to improve as well. Nairati still staying 7th. Polnick still staying 9th. Across the line is going to be 44. 44, Hermione moves up to 11th. Blendon still stays 7th. Fossman crucially going to improve now as he moves up to 12th, putting the gap to him and Breeze almost at a full second. Nice to see you, Joshua, in the chat. Joshua can't race this evening, so it's nice to have him on the chat. Sanchez moves up into 16th. Liang and McGavin are going to be next up, as McGavin now moves ahead of Blunden. Crucially in their battle. Matt Terry looking to show some improvement as well. He's going to be next across the line with improvement, as long as his improvement does hold. He's going to find about 5/10. Where's that going to put him? It's going to put him 9th right now. As there's about 6 minutes now in this qualifying session remaining. Anyone next across the line is going to beat the 3:95 of the race program. Right behind Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby pulling off to the side. His lap time is invalidated, so it will... Oh, never mind. It was not invalidated. He will get ahead of Zahara. He will be 18th. Next across the line with a valid lap time will so far be the Polarin of Polinick. We had him on earlier. He's crucially finding the time that he needs. He's found 4/10 so far. He's about to find 4.5. That's going to put him ahead of Matt Terry as they battle it out for the 9th place position. Looking for big gainers on the track. Don Fossman right now. One of those big gainers. Sean Ches, the party pickle's gaining quite a little bit. Can Fossman get ahead of Hermanis? Yes, he can. 15 to hundredths as we quickly yoink to Sean Ches as he's going to look to try and get past Breeze, and he's going to do it so quite comfortably. Breeze in a fight for his life in the amateur division. It's only going to get harder as time goes on. Nairati doing his outlap is now going to start his final flying laps of the session, with now 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Stavko, he's got to be running the almost exact same lap. Just not enough improvement just yet. That would be Matt Terry showing about 4/10 improvement. He's going to leapfrog some people. Castle, Polinick, and Nairati all have been leapfrogged. Curveball trying to find some improvement, not finding it. As Stavko just lays claim so far to provisional pole, no one really able to stop him. So we have all those drivers in the back there You can see where everyone's bundled up in qualifying. We're looking for big gainers. Liang so far about 2/10. Naradi has invalidated his lap. Has he invalidated his lap? I do not know. It's always weird and kind of glitchy when it goes up to the end there. Zahara moves up into 15th crucially, but a little bit of a tag of the wall as he invalidates. He's going to go into the pits for a fresh set. As Fossman and Hermanis battle it out to start their flying lap. As everyone starts their final flying laps of the session. Now, hopefully this is not an invalidation by Team On The Rush, because this is 4/10, which are very, very crucial in this moment. It is not. He moves up into 7th. He's missing about a 10th on Blunden and about 2/10 on McGavin. So crucially, he's ahead of Castle, but he's not ahead of the shooter. Matt Terry not showing any improvement in his lap. He'll get a couple more. He'll get maybe 1 or 2 more tries. Kerbal not finding any improvement. We ride on board with Saniga, the only man so far that seems to like he can challenge Stavko for a provisional pole right now. Needs to find as much time as he can get. He lost about a 10th there. Kerbal still stays 4th. Macklin has an off. That might be their qualifying sessions done. 37 crosses the line. No improvement. Number 19, Polinick. No improvement. Number 7, that would be Blunden, is about 2/10. He's going to leapfrog McGavin. But Saniga, crucially, has not leapfrogged Stavko yet. He needs to find another 3/10. Hermani crucially leapfrogs Fossman. Brees looking to find that 3/10 improvement. Can he get past Ches? Yes, he can. He'll be in 16th, but still plenty of time to go as everyone crosses the line in the chaos that is this. Naradi has found a lot of extra time. He's found 6/10. That might even get him ahead of Kerbal. It will! Kerbal drops down as Naradi finds an absolute banger of a lap. Almost even passes Macklin. If he can find an extra 10th, he might be able to do it. Kerbal said Naradi has this knack for just absolute massive qualifying pace. And Naradi has done it. But crucially, can Naradi find less than a 10th? That's all he needs. Less than a 10th. And then he can beat Macklin. Kerbal doesn't need much either. He also needs less. He needs a 10th and a little bit more, but he's not going to get it here. He can get to go again. Stavko not improving. Saniga crucially not improving. I don't know if he'll be able to get in another lap. No one at this current moment is really improving right now. Naradi in the pits. Unlikely, he's not going to be able to move, so the only one that has really a chance to pass him is Blunden, McGavin, and Kerbal. Crucially, Blunden's going to cross the line. It's going to be close though with that time ending. Blunden's not going to pass him as he's into the pits. That ends his qualifying session. Saniga will have 1 more lap to attempt this. 21-5. That is 8 for them. Castle stays 9th. Hayes will stay 19th at the minimum. Shooter McGavin, is he going to cross the line in time? Yes, he is. Everyone else behind him will not get the chance to improve on their lap times. Zahara, Santiago, Ches, Bobby all across the line. That's 8 for them in their various positions. First across the line is going to be Kerbal with, crucially at this point, no improvement in his laps. He just needs to find a 10th and a little bit. Where did Naradi pull that lap out? Is what Kerbal is saying. Where did he find that time? Saniga, crucially, is finding that time. As Stavko's lap is invalidated. This would have been Saniga's chance. Swanson showing improvement. Saniga invalidates his lap, so his improvement is gone. It's worthless. Polonick's not improving either. Swanson, however, could make a big jump in the grid order should he get this lap on. And he is going to do that getting past Fossman. As woo boy, that was a crazy qualifying session. We will go, I think we'll go back to front here for this little go around. We will start from the back and work our way forward. Raymond Balyut in his BMW in 21st, 410. You have Hayes of the Port Gang in his Porsche number 21. He is in 20th. Ricky Bobby of the Shake and Bake. He has his battle with Fossman and Breeze. He's looking to try and get third in that championship. He is number 26. He's 19th in his Ferrari. Sean Ches of the Party Pickles. His teammates in a battle. What can he do to help him there? He's number 16 in his Ferrari. He is 18th. Brees in the 666 McLaren currently holds serve third place in the amateur division. Can he do that here? Can he manage to sneak the win past? Santiago in his BMW Black Falcon. He was a late addition to the DRL ACC. We're happy to have him. He's in 16th. He's number 30. Zahara, without his teammate Bradley Cooper, he's currently sitting 15th in the Lamborghini number 23. Lee Young in the 668. MA70 Esport Ferrari. He's in 14th. He, I do believe, has all but clinched the amateur division. Congrats to him on that. Hopefully he has a good race going forward. Don Fossman currently holds advantage in terms of qualifying place between the two, in terms of the three people fighting for third place in the amateur division. If he holds serve where he is now, it is most likely he will win third place in that division. Swanson of the Scuderia Boscaiola, currently in 12th, had a nice qualifying lap to get up there. Top 10 finish, definitely not out of the question for him. He has that opportunity in the Ferrari number 37. Hermione in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage number 44, currently sits 11th. Had him on and off this race. The Latvian sensation, happy to have him. Let's see if he can have this final race to bring pride for his country. Polonick in the Paul Laren, number 19, sits 10th right now, currently just trying to get advantage on Swanson. He has that in qualifying. Can he hold that in the race? Frank Castle of the Swine Flu Syndicate starts in 9th. Not looking good for his battle with both Shooter McGavin and Nairati. Hopefully, you never know. We'll see what race turns out. Matt Terry, the Hornet, in his In-Bank Motorsport BMW number 18, sits in 8th. Shooter McGavin in his battle with Castle and Nairati currently holds 2nd in qualifying pace. In his Ferrari number 69, looking to try and get ahead of Nairati at the race start. Blunden holding serve, still currently in 3rd place, behind Kerbal, crucially, and also Macklin. So let's see how that holds out. He's in his Boscaiola number 7. Kerbal of the race program in 5th, ahead of Blunden, but behind Burt Macklin. He's number 395. What can he do to start this race? He had a championship win slip from his grasp in Austria. I don't think he'll let that happen again. Number 32, Nairati of Team On The Rush, had an absolute banker of a lap. Gets crucially ahead of Shooter and Castle. He's given himself an opportunity to recover what was, in a sense, a lost season for Team On The Rush. His qualifying streak continues. Hopefully he can get that podium that he's been so saltly after. Burt Macklin of the Swine Flu Syndicate, always consistently in the top 3 whenever he races in qualifying. Crucially, he's battling Kerbal. Kerbal's in 5th, he's in 3rd. Very good showing for him. The front row, there should be no surprises there. Sanyiga currently in 2nd, getting awfully closely comfortable. Hopefully that $1.50 hot dog can give him the power he needs. Currently, Stavko holds the advantage both in the championship and in terms of qualifying. If Sanyiga really wants this championship, Stavko is going to have to finish 7th or lower, with Sanyiga having the win. But let's see how it turns out with 10 seconds left to go until this formation lap starts. You know what this means, folks. Sit down, grab your favorite beverage, grab your favorite food. It could be pork, it could be a banana, it could be whatever you want it to be. The green flag will soon wave on the final race of DRL Season 1. Who's gonna win? What's gonna happen? Sit back and listen. And watch along as we conclude the final season here at DRL ACC. And the green flag waves as they're off. Crucially, as Stavko has a drive-through penalty, Sanyiga is gonna try and fight him around the outside. As we now go into the helicam view, it's not gonna show very well. As drivers start falling behind and back and stuff like that, it's absolute chaos. As they all go single file now down into the tight confines of turn 4, as now we approach the chicane. Stavko has a drive-through penalty as they all go one by one out of the chicane. Oh, that was someone going wide. That was Kerbal of the race program, takes the escape road, comes back on the track and nails Castle. Oh my goodness, what happened there? As Kerbal falls all the way down. Absolute madness as Nairati currently holds still serve 4th. Is he going to fight Burt Macklin, which he's been doing all season? That could have been absolutely disastrous as Sahara gets by Swanson, and there is an absolute pile-up and melee in the back as Leung is fighting Breeze. How that contact didn't register, I don't really know. Kerbal gets ahead of Hermione, Fossman gets ahead of Swanson, Breeze gets ahead of Leon, Ricky Bobby gets ahead of Santiago, Hayes gets ahead of Jez. Oh, that's a mouthful as the back of the pack fights for their lives. Breeze crucially getting ahead of Swanson. He needs to get ahead of Fossman here. Oh no, Breeze having an off moment. Will lose a spot to Leung and Swanson. Crucially, he doesn't lose spots to Bobby and Santiago. He needs to stay ahead, he needs to be consistent, or else 3rd place will slip from his grasp. As Santiago dives up, as Valyute dives up the inside. Stavko does not serve his drive-through penalty yet, he's gonna wait on that. Chez gets ahead of Hayes. Kerbal gets ahead of Polinick, Polinick going wide. Swanson, look at the dive up the inside of Swanson. Looks like he's going to complete that overtake. Blunden going to maybe think about Nairati here into the chicane. Absolutely not. That would be absolute madness as Nairati needs to hold it. He slams on the brakes, just keeping in tow, but that's going to allow Blunden and Shooter to pass. This is not what Nairati wanted. This is the disaster that is happening, unfolding in their eyes as Hermione and Zahara battle it out side by side. Chaos in everything at DRL ACC. Stavko getting a drive-through penalty, though, might just hand Sanyiga the championship on a silver frickin' platter. Oh, as Nairati tags the wall, losing out to Castle, he might have damage as Matt Terry the Hornet quickly comes up on him. As Kerbal hits the rear of Nairati, the team on the rush just keeps on chugging. Santiago's looking for a place, and Ricky Bobby is going to attempt to go around the outside. And I do believe we just lost Hayes. And that is going to be Hayes in the box. I'm assuming number 32. Oh, no, he's not. He's not going to go in. I find that quite surprising. As Hayes sits in the pits looking for repairs. Stavko yet to having served his drive-through penalty yet. It's hard to keep track of the drivers, and there goes Hayes. Sadly, unfortunately for him, he will not be in this race as Kerbal said, the qualifying pace in Nairati is strong, but the race pace, as for some strange reason, just does not seem to be there. Is Nairati going to think about it? I wouldn't dare dream of it. Looks like he might have a better exit here. He's looking for that place. He's looking for the time. He's looking for the moment to try and get the race program. He needs the hope and the dream of maybe catching Castle, and McGavin is slowly going up in smoke. The rush is dying. He needs to try and do something about it. As we look ahead for other battles, Blunden is trying to catch Burt Macklin. At this rate, Blunden's definitely going to keep his top 10 streak, but the chance to podium again is still definitely within his grasp. Swanson is currently chasing Zahara right now. Currently for 12th. That is the closest battle on the docket right now. Kermal's slowly approaching Matt Terry, and as you can see up ahead, Nairati is slowly following along. And into the pits goes Stavko. How far will he fall as he tumbles and tumbles down the order? Nairati has backed off of this battle, waiting in the wings as Stavko falls further and further. He's gonna fall all the way down. Balyut and Sanchez are the only drivers that will keep him company. As of right now, with that moment, Sanyiga currently is winning the championship. Frank Castle looking to try and get Shooter McGavin here. Looking for a moment, looking for a time and a place, as Nairati falls down the grid order massively. What happened to him there? Oh, massive collision into the wall after the chicane. Nairati already looking forward to next season. As you can see him tumbling down your timing charts now. Castle looking to try and get McGavin for 4th here. Santiago gets by Ricky Bobby. Nairati slips all the way down into last. Balyut and Sanchez getting past him. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nairati box here. So we have a big battle going on from 8th to 12th. Polinick, Hermani, Zahara, Swanson, Fossman all together there. Brees falling a little bit behind, needs to catch up to Fossman. Castle, does he think about a move into the chicane? Nope, not yet. Going side by side there would be an incredible sight to see. But it's not the sight just yet. Santiago and Breeze. Breeze takes the middle of the track. So far, Breeze defending that spot well. Castle still looking Still waiting. Can he get that moment? Can he get that time? Can he get the place? As Kerbal is going to finally get past Matt Terry there. Castle is just getting just the pig is just riding on back of the shooter. The hunter has now become the hunted. Doesn't look like Castle's gonna get him just yet, but you never know. Stofko's gonna get ahead of Ricky Bobby. As crucially they go side by, as Santiago gives up that place. Brees now is going to be the next victim of Stofko, as Stofko essentially tries to go from last to first again. And he's going to get past Brees. No issues whatsoever there. Oh my goodness, they're just going to get closer and closer. Are they thinking about going side by side? Nope, Castle just loops back in again. McGavin doesn't realize how much danger he is from this pig. He can't hunt the pig because the pig is behind him. As they fight on and on, Santiago is going to maybe think about going side by side with Breeze into this chicane. Neither of them can go side by side, and Ricky Bobby is going to take advantage of that as Swanson and Leung collide, as Leung is facing the wrong way. Breeze almost collects him. He's in a little bit of a dangerous spot on that track. As number 18, that's Matt Terry, also has a little bit of an off. Stofko looking to take the advantage as Swanson immediately goes into the box. Matt Terry already losing that position to Stofko. Just looking to try and get Balute. Castle still stuck behind McGavin, but maybe this is the chance. Maybe this is the moment. As late on the brakes goes Castle, and he takes the inside. McGavin not electing to fight it all too much, or if he did, just a better move by Castle. As Terry goes into the box, most likely to repair the damage. Fossman and Stofko are next. Stofko is just so fast on this track. Leung also boxes most likely for damage as well. Stofko arguably looks more angry in that all-black Ferrari. Santiago looking to try and get Breeze again as they go off the inside and they collide. Breeze gets tagged into the wall. Ricky Bobby crucially gets ahead of both of them as Stofko easily gets past Fossman. That wasn't even a challenge. Balute and Ches racing wheel to wheel. They're going to keep going side by side. As Ches goes up the inside. This is the closest battle right now. As Ches looks to take advantage there, Balute's not going to let that place go lightly. Hermione is getting ever so closer to Polinick, but it's not within time range just yet. Nairati's slowly approaching this battle, as it looks like number 18, Matt Terry, is on the move. Testing the maneuverability of his car, seems to be okay. Leung is also on the move, but crucially, is Leung going to get out ahead of Nairati? It's going to be close. Nairati holds advantage. Very crucially. As I said, Stavko would have to finish 7th or lower for Soniga to win this championship. And 7th place is only 8 seconds off. So Stavko, even with that drive-through penalty, it might not matter. His times compared to the others is just exceptional. Look how fast he goes. As we have run past 15 minutes in the session, no one is within a 1 second gap right now. This is quite strange. I don't know why that says 37. That's not 37. Breeze has come close with Santiago a few times. That forced Ricky Bobby to go wide. A little advantageous by number 30. Oh, Stavko's going to be next on Zahara. Now, is Zahara going to fight this? It looks like he's not going to let him pass so easily, that's for certain. Zahara makes Stavko work for it, but Stavko still gets ahead of Zahara no matter what the case is. That's Stavko up to 9th. He needs to get up to 6th. Zahara definitely made it work for him though. Oh, we've lost Matt Terry now. Unfortunate. His next, Nairati is going to try and unlap himself from Sanchez. He does have fresher tires. Is Nairati going to think about the lunge here? Nope. Stays behind Sanchez for now. As there is no gap, this is arguably the closest gap we have right now, even though it doesn't really register all that much. Already had a big off in the chicane before, knows not to do it again. He needs to get past Sanchez though. So crucially. Soniga just off in his own world. Same with Macklin. Same with Blunden. Same with Castle. McGavin and Kerbal are a little close together. Polonic on his own. All the drivers just on their own. Nairati finally gets past Ches. See if we can get that in the replay. A little bit up the inside. Nice, easy overtake. Blue flags being shown for Nairati, but I do not think he does have the pace to unlap himself, so he is given that opportunity. London trying to catch Burt Macklin. London only 7 seconds off the leader. It's entirely possible that he could make up that time. Ooh, McGavin's caught up quite a bit to Castle. Castle had a little bit of a moment. This might allow the shooter to gain advantage. The roles have now since been reversed. The pig was hunting the shooter. Now it's back to what it normally is supposed to be. The hunter now chasing the pig. A little bit of a yawn. As almost 20 minutes have elapsed in this race. Stavko getting closer to Hermani. Now what is the Latvian sensation going to do with the pro, with the current champion right on his behind? Stavko should just make it easy and pass him in the straight, but is he going to fight it? Hermani taking a little bit of the inside. As they do go side by side for a little bit. Hermani stays in the bump draft. Maybe, just maybe, he can think about Stavko into the chicane here. He does have the speed, but he elects to back out. As he doesn't carry the same speed as Stavko, and Stavko is gone. He is out of there. Ricky Bobby and Brees both pit the same lap. As Brees just has to hold off Ricky Bobby, but at this rate he will lose out to Don Fossman. Narati and Leung, the only drivers to have boxed, and they boxed early due to damage. Curveball getting closer to McGavin than McGavin is to Castle. Blendon's also not too far off of Macklin, 1.1 seconds. Ooh, Blendon cuts the chicane a little bit. Nairati still not going to get past Balyut, but Balyut has a stop-go 30-second. Zahara and Fossman go into the pits together. We are 10 seconds from hearing the engineer say the wonderful message. Or not. Interesting. Well, we're halfway through the race now. Stavko right next to the Polarin. How much of a fight is the Polarin going to put up? Keeps Stavko behind. Stavko tries to go up the inside. Polinick gives up that inside. Oh, is he side by side with him? As it looks like Stavko's just going to win that battle outright. Kerbal gets ahead as McGavin goes into the box. Ricky Bobby has also gotten ahead. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I thought that's the wrong shake and bake, folks. Bobby about to be lapped by Castle here. Stavko now up back into championship winning place. As Rick, oh, and the touch from Ricky Bobby and Kerbal as Hermione and Ches go into the pits. Narati and Leung are gonna get back. Stavko just gonna eat this up for lunch as the championship is falling back into his hands. Kerbal gonna fight this as much as he can, but Stavko is an absolute animal. As up the inside he goes, just absolutely aggressive. With Kerbal just forcing him off. As they've made contact as well. Castle boxes, Blunden boxes, Macklin boxes. It is absolute chaos and bedlam as Breeze is going to get ahead of Ricky Bobby, but he is so far away from Don Fossman. Ricky Bobby had that collision. With Kerbal. That's allowed Breeze to get by. As well as Nairati, but Breeze still needs to catch Fossman. Is that going to be enough? As Blunden is gonna get ahead of Castle. Oh, wait a minute though. Wait a minute though. Where have we seen this before? Oh, is any of them gonna go side by side? Is any of them gonna back out? No. Blunden goes extremely wide. Almost comes back on the track, but that's gonna allow Castle to squeeze on by. Blunden, however, is gonna try and desperately fight that out. He doesn't want to lose out on that opportunity as Stavko goes into the pits and boxes. Where will he come out? As you have Shooter McGavin and Kerbal still fairly close together. At this rate, Breeze needs, so second. Breeze is currently sitting 5th. Fossman is sitting 3rd. Or is he sitting 2nd actually? Fossman only needs a 4-point gap. That would give Fossman 3rd place. As Stavko falls deeper and deeper down the order. He's done his pit already. He's gonna come out ahead, crucially, of Kerbal. That is gonna put him in championship winning material. Even with the drive-through, it does not seem to matter. Breeze crucially, and I mean crucially, needs to get 3rd that if he finishes just one place behind Fossman, he can keep that championship. He would need to get up to Santiago. But Brees is a long way away from that. London getting close to Cat. From 3rd to 7th is very close. And Stavko's aggressiveness is showing, and it's showing in spades. As Breeze goes around the outside on Sanchez, who looks like he's going into the pits now. Stavko desperately trying to keep his championship hopes alive. As Saniga completes his pit stop and heads out. But it might not all matter in the end. As Stavko's going to go up the inside, McGavin up the inside. However, McGavin's going to take the outside. Stavko is crucially ahead. But is McGavin going to fight him for it? It doesn't seem likely as Stavko races off into the distance. As I said, Stavko would have to finish 7th or worse, and Saniga would win the championship. Right now he's sitting 5th. Is McGavin going to think about it? Absolutely not. Kerbal, though, seems to might have a better exit, and he's thinking about the inside. McGavin shuts the door. Kerbal looking for that moment, looking for that chance. Can he find it? He's looking for it. He's not finding it just yet. Stavko's next victim will be Blunden. As Brees lets Nairati by. Oh, a little tag by the wall by the race program. The glitch in the system might not allow for such full throttleness. Stavko getting ever so closer to Blunden. The race program doing his best. I'll pan away from them for just a second. London catching up to Castle, but the problem is they have an angry Stavko behind. McGavin is there, but he's got the race program to deal with. Stavko getting closer and closer. The question is will they fight them out? So we head down the pit straight with 12 minutes left to go. How much is Blunden going to fight Stavko here? All drivers having completed their mandatory pit stops. Castle getting away from Blunden crucially. But Blunden might be a sitting duck. lunge by Stavko. Very aggressive. He did go off track. That could have been dangerous for both drivers. As Stavko defends the inside from Blunden, Kerbal crucially gets ahead of the shooter. What an incredible move. That was mind-boggling. They definitely made contact, and I'm gonna have to see that on replay. But that was absolute insanity. I did not think Stavko had any right mind doing that. I'm sorry, folks. I gotta see that one more time. Did he leave him the room? Wow. That was maddening. That was absolutely maddening to watch. Stavko not giving any flying bleeps about it, dude. Just sends it. He's lucky he didn't collect himself. Shooter still able to possibly get Kerbal here, as Blunden is actually going to get ahead of Stavko. Crucially, Stavko going a little bit wide. He has the championship right now. Could we see another crazy move from Stavko? He's so aggressive right now. Stavko, though, has to race clean. He can't be too aggressive. He has the championship won right now, and 7th place is not far off. If he were to get a time penalty closed race, that could ruin the season. He needs to be very careful here. Here we go again, though. I don't think he's close enough to try this lunge again. He's 3/10 back. That would be an incredible lunge. Blunden blocks off the inside. Damn, Stavko's using all available exit curb. He's actually invalidated. He's got to be careful. Another drive-through warning would be insane and would kill his hopes of a championship. Ricky Bobby on the back of Balyut that been doing that all race. As Stavko looks for the move. Blunden defends. As Stavko looks to go. Oh, they make a little bit of a touch there. But I do think Stavko has this. Oh, they make another little touch there. Hard racing as we keep going. Stavko currently has the championship, but Blunden's not letting him go that easy as Stavko goes really wide, but manages to take hold of the place. The aggressiveness by Stavko. What's happening to our boy Kerbal? He's currently in 6th, trying to chase currently Blunden for 5th right now. But it's been absolute insanity as we hit the yellow flag pop up there ever so briefly. Do think it was for Ricky Bobby. As 34 and 7 have made contact all these final few moments. London wanting to get back at Stavko, however, though. Stavko doing his best to chase Castle now. Currently, as it stands, looking at my notes, Polinick will most likely get Swanson as Swanson's down in last in the Pro-Am. Brees will most likely lose third place to Fossman. He won't lose it to Bobby, but he'll lose it to Fossman. And Kerbal and Macklin will hold serve against Kerbal as Breeze just gets out of the way. Wants no part of this. Blue flag shown to him. Stavko's got to be very careful with 5 minutes left to go. He doesn't want to make an error that costs him this championship right now. 7th place now far, far away. He's catching up to Castle at an astronomical rate. As the seconds tick down here at DRL ACC, Suniga will win this race, but at this rate will not win the championship. Castle will soon have his walls invaded by Stavka. The castle walls will crumble as Stavko, who at the beginning of the season was underneath Suniga for most, but not anymore. He's laying claim to his title. As here is everyone else is currently staying put in their standings right now. Stavko looks to now chase Macklin. Or sorry, not Macklin, Castle. At this rate, he might catch Macklin, but Macklin's 15 seconds up the road, so does not seem likely. A 43.9 for Stavko, a 45.1 for Castle. It's not even close. Now my question is how hard is Castle going to fight? How hard is he going to fight this invasion? Oh, can he hold it? Oh, what a save! The save that might keep Stavko his championship. Oh, my goodness, he just saved that. Oh my! That save might just keep Stavko his championship as he slowly approaches Castle. And by I mean slowly, I mean faster than a frickin' cheetah. Two minutes left. We will have most likely 2 more laps. Castle, I don't think we'll be able to defend Stavko for that long. So far, this battle looks like it's going to come to a head at that chicane. Stavko nearly ended his championship, but he saved it. The man so fast and aggressive. There's number 26, Ricky Bobby faces the wrong way, goes right into the pits. This time not so fast for Stavko as Castle looking to try and defend. Is sticking it up the inside is Stavko. Now Castle has the inside crucially. Can we see a little bit of a switchback? Nope, Castle keeps him behind. How much longer is Castle going to be able to keep him behind? Castle goes a bit wide. Stavko sees that, steps on the gas. Castle crucially still keeping ahead of him, as the leader will approach now the final lap. Unless he just decides to slow down low. Sanchez has a moment, slips out. As Castle crucially keeping him behind. As the leader now approaches the final lap, we ride on board because this battle is just going to get more and more intense. Kerbel's getting closer and closer to Blunden, but he's still within that 1 second, but not close enough just yet. Swanson and Ches crucially having a battle up ahead. But will Castle receive the same fate? It doesn't look like it. It looks like Jacob's going to stay behind. Oh, Castle with a little bit of a drift. Manages to keep it saved. Castle doing everything he can, desperate to keep Stavko behind. And Stavko's going to try and go around the outside. Fail to do so. He's going to probably lunge up the inside of Castle here. Is he going to be able to make an overtake stick as Ches, Swanson, Nairati, and Castle come? Oh, it's going to be close. As blue flags get waved, Stavko seems to have taken the inside. Nairati pulls off to the side. Swanson and Ches getting closer. Stavko and Castle getting closer. And the leader has finished the race. Sanyiga wins at Watkins Glen. However, Castle has a little bit of an off moment. Swanson not drifting the car a little bit, electingly. Oh! Swanson tags Castle on the way out as Stavko wins the DRL ACC World Championship. Castle finishes the race. Blunden finishes. Nairati, Kerbel, they all finish the race. Sadly, Breeze will not gain third place in that championship. He will finish fourth in the class. Oh my goodness, an absolutely amazing moment as Stavko continues to drive the track. He doesn't even give a celebratory lap. As we see donuts now by everybody. Kerbel actually has been disqualified. For what? Kerbel was disqualified? Huh? Is that even possible? What happened? The race is still ongoing because you still have Zahara have yet to complete the race, and now it is officially complete. Ricky Bobby's actually still in the pit, so the race technically still isn't over. As everyone's now doing donuts in the as everyone's doing donuts to celebrate the end of the year. We're all happy here at DRL ACC. that the season is over. A celebratory donut for everyone involved. What is going on by London there? All right, I think we're gonna patch in now. I'm gonna let them know to come into the broadcast booth. All right, we are now just awaiting the Swine Flu Syndicate. As you can see, Suniga, Macklin, Stavko round out the podium. Castle, Blunden, McGavin, Polinick, Hermione, Zahara, and Fossman round out the top 10. Santiago, Narati, Breeze, Leung, Belyute round out the top 10. Or round out the top 15, I lied to you, sorry. Ches, Swanson, Terry, Hayes, and I do believe somehow, some way, Kerbal has been disqualified. I don't know how that will stand, but either way, we'll review that post-race. I'm going to welcome the Swine Flu Syndicate of Burt Macklin and Frank Castle. Castle, hell of a defense, my guy. You wanted it so bad, but I'm not going to say anything about what just happened to you on those final lap.
Yeah, that was a wild last race. I wanted to keep Jacob off those last few laps, but unfortunately we ran into a battle of the Pro-Am and Am class in front of us, which caused a little bit of delay. So yeah, I tried my best to keep him behind, but just couldn't do it at the end with all the blue flags around.
Burt Macklin, there really wasn't much of a problem for you. You were just off on your own races. You seem to be every race.
Oh man, it was another one of those no man's land races. But actually, you know what? I shouldn't say that, because the first until pit, Garth had me sweating. I was like, I would pull away, and then he started reeling me in, and then my tires really started to suffer, and he brought it back to under a second, and I actually pitted sooner than I wanted to, because I was afraid of him getting me or him undercutting me, and he ended up pitting the same lap, so I think it was a good choice.
Obviously, you guys, I'd like to say you guys run DRL ACC, and it's been a fantastic season, and honestly, I can't wait for season 2 in probably about 3 weeks to a month's time, because we're all going to take a break and review the season and enjoy how much it's been.
Probably 2 weeks.
Your broadcast host with just like a little bit more maybe, but other than that, you guys had a fantastic season. I don't know where it stands in terms of the constructors. Maybe you guys have it. I don't know. It depends if Stavko and Leon did enough to keep you guys away.
That was a strong finish.
It was definitely a strong finish.
Yeah, it's gonna be close.
What can we look forward to next season? Obviously, with season 2 coming up.
I think you'll see we're gonna see some different tracks for sure. We're gonna kind of just review the rules, and it was our first season, right? So we learned a lot. So we're gonna fix a few things up for season 2, and then yeah, I mean, from Sam and we have some changes up our sleeve, but as far as our team goes and what our plans are for season 2, but we are gonna keep those under wraps until a little closer.
There's a few things I've seen. One, Stavko getting a drive-through. I thought that was going to bring hope to the championship. It did not. He's too fast. Kerbal coming back on the track and nearly killing Newcastle was a little bit interesting.
I almost got killed by that twice, Kerbal, and then when Spenny came back out, and I was lucky with his mistake as well, which allowed me to get ahead. But yeah, that was pretty scary when
you just see
Neil
a race
came
program
back on track. There was a few close calls. That was a really fun race. I like being in the mid pack, and the only thing that left me ahead was, I guess, consistency.
Other than that, good season for you guys, and thanks so much for letting me broadcast. It's been an honor with all you guys and the aliens and the back of the pack drivers. Honestly, I can't thank you guys enough for having me be here in this community and letting me do this. It's honestly fantastic.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it too, Tyler, man. It's been super awesome having you commentate these races. We've always wanted a commentator for kind of all of our leagues, so F1 and ACC. So having you step up's been super awesome, super fun. I enjoy watching the broadcasts back kind of the next day when I get to them. And yeah, thank you to all the drivers who raced with us in season 1, and can't wait for season 2.
I can't wait to see like 30, 40 people on this grid. It's gonna make my job so much harder. There's gonna need to be 2 of me. But thank you guys so much. I'm gonna do the sign off, and I'm gonna have to try and figure out what to say to sign us off here.
Cool.
Right
Thanks,
on.
Tyler.
Thanks
Talk to you
again.
later.
Yep. Thanks, Castle and Macklin. After all that this season has been incredible. From race 1 to now, it's been an absolute honor being with you guys for honestly all of it. I honestly can't stress enough how beautiful this has been to race with all these drivers and stuff like that. I honestly could not be more humbled. From Oulton Park all the way to Suzuka, from Spa-Francorchamps all the way down to Kielami, Silverstone, Hungaroring, and now finally Watkins Glen. It's been an absolute honor, and I'm honestly tearing up a little bit about it. But it's been a wonderful season being with all of you, and I look forward to having you guys around for season 2. When we get back on track, when we have more drivers changing classes from pro to pro-am to pro and am to pro-am and maybe in between. But it's been, like I said, I can't say it enough. It's been an absolute honor with the drivers and myself. Stavko, your drivers world champion in ACC. I'm your broadcast, Tyler Morgan, signing off. Thank you so very much, and goodbye until next time.